Ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding for the bride. Well, good afternoon, everybody, and please be seated. I'm delighted to welcome you all here today on the very happy occasion of the marriage of Gary Russell and Donna Crawford. Gary and Donna have chosen a spectacular setting for their special day, and I'm so pleased to see the Scottish weather has been kind to them. My name is Jane Norman, and I am a registrar authorised by the Registrar General to solemnise civil marriages in accordance with the laws of Scotland. And my first and very pleasant task is to ask who gives Donna away to be married. Although a civil ceremony is by tradition simple, this does not take away from the importance and significance of the occasion. The ceremony signifies an important step in Gary and Donna's future and marks the beginning of their new life together. And may they have many long and happy years together. First of all, I would like to extend an especially warm welcome to all Gary and Donna's family and friends who've travelled from far and wide to be here today to help them celebrate their wedding. I know that it means a great deal to them both, and they are touched at the distances some of you have come. And I believe we have guests from as far away as Greenock, and Cowdenbeath and Dunfermline. And for those of you who are not from these parts, the Borders is a beautiful place. And I hope that whilst you're here, you'll be able to explore the many treasures that we have and enjoy the breathtaking scenery. And that you will return again in the future.
What, Daddy?
And I'd also like to welcome our bridesmaid, Bethany, our best man, Craig, or Daddy, our beautiful flower girl, Emma, our very talented chefs who are kindly cooking today, and the makeup artist who Gary once taught to drawing. And I'm sure you'll agree they're doing a marvellous job of supporting Gary and Donna here today. And finally, it is Gary and Donna's wish that as we begin the ceremony, you join with them in remembering those who, for whatever reason, could not be here with us today, but who are here in spirit and would them a lifetime of happiness, especially to Doris and Jim, Grace and Robert, and Jenny and Freddie. And I suppose very finally, we're all thinking about the two dogs who are singing away and singing with their remarks upstairs. Well, to start the ceremony, I thought I would share with you, in Gary and Donna's own words, how they met and what brought them together. Gary was out with a few friends, celebrating becoming a fully fledged, qualified driving instructor, having just passed his final exams. And Donna was out having a quiet drink with a friend. Although quiet isn't exactly how Gary would describe it, as he couldn't hear himself think in the booth next to Donna in the Seven Kings pub in Dunfermline. He simply had to investigate the ruckus and hilarity going on behind him. He turned round, peered over to Donna, and their eyes met for the first time. Donna insisted that it was her friend making all the noise, but it turns out that her laugh is actually way more horrendous, as Gary has learned over the years, especially in public places. Gary managed to pluck up the courage to ask Donna if she'd like a drink, to which she said, yes, that would be nice. And then Gary replied, well, you'll need to buy it yourself because I've spent all my money today. Oh, and could you get me one as well? He then redeemed himself and went on to impress her with his dancing skills in Life nightclub. And at the end of the night, he persuaded her to give him her number. A few days later, they had their first date in the Glen, and Gary was so nervous, he managed to scrape his heel on a curb on the way to meet Donna. Something he regularly gives his learners a hard time for. Anyway, the date went well. They shared their first kiss that day, and now, almost 7 years later, we're gathered here today. Gary and Donna, we are assembled here in order that I may solemnise your marriage in the presence of these witnesses in accordance with the laws of Scotland. I can confirm the requirements of these laws preliminary to your marriage have been satisfied. You've both given notice of your intended marriage for the required statutory period, and no objection to the marriage has been received. Before I proceed with this marriage ceremony, it is necessary you should identify yourselves by answering the following questions. Are you Gary Russell, whose usual residence appears on this marriage schedule as 1 Castle Hill Road, Versailles?
I am.
And are you Donna Mary Crawford, whose usual residence appears on this marriage schedule as 1 Castleland Hill Road, Versailles? Just as well. Before you, Gary, and you, Donna, are joined in marriage, it is my duty to remind you of the binding character of the vows you're about to make. Marriage, according to the law of this country, is a union voluntarily entered into for life to the exclusion of all others, and as such it is not to be entered into lightly or without great thought. Today is a day of celebration. It is a day where we celebrate your love for each other and your commitment to each other for the rest of your lives. In the future years ahead, may you be a constant support for each other through good times and bad, and may your love grow from strength to strength. As you prepare to make your vows to each other today, remember you're surrounded by friends and family who will witness and support your love and commitment. And before we begin the official part of the ceremony, I would like to call upon Donna's son, Sean, to come forward and read a poem entitled He Never Leaves the Seat Up.
He never leaves the seat up or wet towels upon the floor. Toothpaste has the lid on and he always shuts the door. She's very clean and tidy, though she may sometimes delude. Leave your things out at your peril in a second you'll have moved. He's a very active person, as are always next of kin. Where she likes lazy days, he'll still drag her to the gym. He romances her and reminds her, home cooked dinners and the like. He even knows her favourite food and spoils her day and night. She's thoughtful when he looks at her, a smile upon his face. Will he look that good in 50 years when his dentures aren't in place? He says he loves her figure and her mental prowess too, but when gravity takes her over, will she charm her with her IQ? She says she loves his kindness and his patience is a must, but of course she thinks he's handsome, which in her eyes is a plus. They're both not wholly perfect, and we're agreed to judge. He can be pig-headed, whereas she won't even budge. All that said and done, they love the time they spent together, and as I'm sure you do, that this fine day will last forever. He'll be more than just a husband, he'll also be her friend, and she'll be more than just his wife, she'll be his soulmate till the end.
Thank you for that, Sean. You read that beautifully. The contracting parties to a civil marriage must make the following binding declarations. That you know of no legal impediment to your marriage, and that you accept each other as husband and wife to the exclusion of all others. The legal impediments have been explained to you, and you've confirmed there are no such impediments. And I now ask you both to make that declaration required by law. Now, would you repeat after me? I, Gary Russell, do solemnly and sincerely declare that I know of no legal impediment to my marrying this woman, Donna Mary Crawford, and that I accept her as my wife to the exclusion of all others, according to the law of Scotland. I promise to love and care for you, and to be faithful to you always. May we look to our future together with hope, happiness and joy. And remembering this day, never allow anything to destroy the feelings that we share for each other. I, Donna Mary Crawford, do solemnly and sincerely declare that I know of no legal impediment to my marrying this man, Gary Russell, and that I accept him as my husband to the exclusion of all others, according to the law of Scotland. I promise to love and care for you, and to be faithful to you always. May we look to our future together with hope, happiness and joy. And remembering this day, never allow anything to destroy the feelings that we share for each other. And I would now like to call upon Donna's daughter Bethany
just so I can take everything out.
And yeah. Intriguing.
Right. This is the marriage survival kit from my mum to Gary. The candle, because you are the light of my life. The candy watch, because I love every minute we share together. Felt tip pens, you make my life colourful and bright. Confetti hearts to remind you of how much I love you. Toothpick to help you pick out the best in us. Matchsticks because we make the perfect match. Paperclip to hold us closer together. The mint because you're worth a mint to me. A jigsaw piece, you make my life complete. And a button for when we need to help to button our lips. And last but not least, tea bags so that we take the time to relax together. And there's a little bit in the back written by my mum. Gary. In between the laughing, all the texts, warm cuddles and staring into each other's eyes. I don't know if you noticed, but I kind of fell in love with you.
It's excellent. Thank you for that, Bethany. That was wonderful. Are you all composed? We've now come to the exchange of rings, which is the traditional way of sealing the contract you've both just made. The wedding ring is an unbroken circle. It has no beginning and no end. It symbolises an ending, an everlasting